Celebrate the heartbeat of Caribbean culture with Satideh Mawnin runs. Join us on Saturdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube as we showcase the vibrant heritage of Jamaica and the wider Caribbean with 4 incredible women, Shern, Max, Jacqui, and me, Lady D. From powerful stories to cultural traditions, we're bringing the flavor, rhythm, and excellence of the Caribbean straight to you. It's more than a show, it's a celebration of the roots and traditions that inspire and unite us. Subscribe to Inside of the Zone with Lady D on YouTube and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn to stay connected every Saturday at 10 a.m. It's Satideh Morning Runnings. Come feel the vibes. Satideh Morning Runnings, where Caribbean heritage comes alive.
Can you feel the vibe? Give me that beat.
For 2 days, the 5 o'clock hour is hot on Fit FM 96.7, www.fitfmja.com. Your life, your music with Lady D, Denise Gomez, Inside the Zone. Catch me on Monday at 5 p.m. for the Monday Drive, keeping you in the know in the city you walk, drive, and reside. And on Friday, yes, at 5 p.m. for Center Stage, the platform where voices are heard and people connect. From abroad to yard, Trelawney. Join us on the Inside of the Zone YouTube channel. We're on a mission to reach 1,000 subscribers and beyond. And we need your support. Like and share. Hit those buttons for exciting content, engaging discussions, and all the latest updates. Together, we can build a vibrant and inspiring community. Don't wait. Hit those buttons today and share it with your friends. Hi, I'm Lady D, Denise Gomez, and I have exciting interview segments and features inside the zone. For recording artists, you can sing? Well, Inside the Zone, second Thursdays at 7:30 p.m. is for you. Writers, share your story, no man, in From the Author Zone on third Thursdays at 7:30 p.m. Male Zone has unbelievably juicy stories of love, heartbreak, and triumph. 7 p.m. has never been this good. On Mondays, it's news, talk, engaging features at 7 in the Monday Drive. And Center Stage has everyone talking on Thursdays. Be a part of the show. Email me insidethezone@gmail.com or call me 914-304-2592. Power, purpose, and passion. Join us for Satideh Morning Runnings on March 29 as we wrap up International Women's Month with an inspiring finale. It's about power, purpose, and passion as Max, Shern, Jacqui, and Lady D talk up the tings alongside our phenomenal guest, Dr. Jamala Spencer. Dr. Spencer, a trailblazing special educator with over 16 years of experience in elementary and early childhood special education, will take the stage to share her incredible journey. She'll reveal the how, where, when, and why of launching her business and share empowering tips with our women to thrive in 2025 and beyond. This isn't just a show. It's a movement, Let's celebrate women's strength, resilience, and achievements with an electrifying conversation you don't want to miss. Tune in live at 10 a.m. on Instagram at Lady D Denise Gomez, Facebook Inside the Zone, Facebook Lady D Denise Gomez, and YouTube Inside the Zone with Lady D. Let's close out Women's Month with a bang. See you there.
Howdy. Howdy. Howdy.
How to do?
Howdy do
Howdy
do.
do.
Howdy do.
And
Howdy do.
howdy do.
Oh, Shern's got my glasses.
I fi-
Howdy, y'all.
Well,
What's
Morning.
going on this morning?
welcome everyone to Satideh Morning Runnings. We're here each and every Saturday from 10 to 11:30. I'm your host, Lady D Denise Gomez Green, and with me, Shern's the Conscious One, Max Poet, Jacqui, Brainbox, and our guest, Jamala Spencer, who is a consummate educator in the special education department. So we're here this morning. The show promises to be great. And as always, we know that you're going to talk up the things with us this morning. And if you're joining us for the very first time, you're at the right place on a Saturday morning. If you're from the Caribbean, you can just close your eyes and picture the days when Miss Lou would be passing with her market bag heading down to your crossing or your crossroad or down a square.
After picnic like we didn't have to have the broom weed and sweep up the backyard.
Absolutely. So, Dr. Spencer, as a result, we can just say to you, hey, be yourself, which you asked me yesterday. And I said, we do switch out, intervals.
We keep it real.
Yeah. So we want to say welcome to the show, everyone. And this is the finale in our feature of International Women's Month. If you missed previous shows, not to worry. YouTube has everything saved right there. You can just go back and say, let me tap right here and see what they did 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and you'll see we had some phenomenal guests. And this morning is no exception. So I'd like to welcome everyone to the show. And just to let you know, oh boy, I see people popping in. And I know it's Dr. Spencer who is kind of saying, come on over here,
Welcome, everyone. Yes.
Yeah, come on over here. So good morning, welcome. And as you enter the chat room, please like the page. You see that little thumbs up? Like it, tap the word subscribe, and share it with someone you know, friends, family, and people in your network. And we are good to go. We want to get so much here that we don't want to miss out on anything. We don't want to miss a cue. We just want to head straight into conversation. But as always, we would like to say welcome to Jamala. And how are you doing this morning, Jamala?
I am doing amazing. Thank you, everyone, for having me. Thank you, ladies, for inviting me to share in your success stories, because that's exactly what I see it as, a big bowl of success.
Like it.
Absolutely.
For tuning in.
Welcome, Jamala. Am I saying it right?
Jamala.
Okay.
Jamala.
Yeah, it's like Kamala, okay? It's Jamala, like Kamala.
No.
Or Kamala.
Right. So, ladies, how have you been?
Saturday morning.
How have you been, girls?
It's been a very busy week for me. As usual, nothing changed. The only thing that changes is my oil in my car.
You're funny. Jacqui, you got jokes. You need a stage.
least you had time to change your oil. So that's good.
Absolutely.
Yes, and the man give me a big bill because him said that a whole heap of something going on underneath there, so I'm gonna have to do some work.
Okay,
Wow.
so oil change. All right. So because of course, if we don't keep the oil, you know,
If you don't keep the engines
if you
lubricated,
don't, that's right. If you don't
we
keep
know
the
what will
engine
happen.
lubricated,
And we have to
then
keep our brain lubricated too, right, Doc?
Yeah, exactly.
we will just pop down. Max, how was your week?
Man was fabulous, successful, amazing.
Uh-huh.
Nice.
Oh, Lord.
Great, Max.
Yeah,
Yes.
we receive. And
Yeah,
Shern,
sprinkle it on.
Of course.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
well, I had a change of age this week. I'm
yes.
going
Yes.
up. I'm going
Wow.
up a notch. So
Mm-hmm.
happy birthday to me. So I had
Yeah.
a good week. I
Happy
had a good
birthday
week, thank God.
again, Shern,
Thank
Yeah,
my
we
you.
send
fellow
you
Yes,
all the
yes,
thanks
Montreal,
and the praise.
yeah.
So would
my
like
fellow Mon sister.
Going up a notch in age is a blessing, girlfriend.
Yep.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
yes.
This one.
Oh
It's a
yes. And
Yeah.
blessing.
able
Not
to
too
see
many
it,
people
able
get
to
to.
see,
Some people
Mhm.
never
able
get
to
to
celebrate
experience
it with
what we're
friends.
experiencing.
yeah.
True, true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So let's get the show on the road this morning. It is all about power, purpose, and passion. It's Satideh morning runnings. Welcome, everyone. And we'd like to acknowledge those of you who popped in so early that we're just saying, oh, wow, things are happening over here. So let's acknowledge our co producer and my husband, Mr. Evil Green. Good morning, sir. Welcome to you.
Hi, producer.
Uh-huh.
How you
Morning.
doing?
Hello, Mr. Producer.
Yes, and Bewildered is here.
All day. Go ahead. All day.
Hi,
All that is on
Alden. How
point.
are you? Thanks for joining.
Your bewildered one is here.
I
Good
hope you were not bewildered this week, all date.
Woo-hoo. Drea is here straight out of Barbados. Morning. Roxanne, good
Hi,
morning,
Who was
Roxanne.
Barbados.
first to class? Who came to class first? All date. So all date get the orange
Right.
or the apple. Which one?
Who came first?
Thank you, Roxanne.
Both.
Yes. Morning, Roxanne.
Hi, Roxanne.
Alice is here. Good morning, Alice. Morning.
Hi, Alice.
Here's
Greetings.
Alice, Roxanne,
Yes, morning.
Melissa.
Hi,
Melissa says hello. Hi, Dr. Jamala Spencer.
Good
Looks.
morning, Miss Melissa.
Yes, here is one which says, Light Christ. Let's do it, everyone. He's ready or she. I'm not
Yes.
Oh
sure.
yes, we're
Morning,
ready.
Light First, it looks like a she. Good morning.
We're
Yes.
ready.
Yeah,
And
And
looks
then
like
please
a
come
she,
with your
yeah.
contributions. Say something, post something in the chat. Let's get this
Mhm.
going.
Yes.
Kellyanne
Good
Rochester, so
morning,
excited to
Marianne.
hear Dr. Spencer's inspiring story. Oh, wow, that's so good. Good morning, Ralphie. This is Shern's husband.
Good
Morning.
morning, Mr.
yeah.
Brown.
Morning, Rob.
The
My
brown is in
CC's
town.
here. Good morning,
Travel with
Jen.
Nads. Do I know this Nads? I think I know this
Hold on,
Nads.
Jacqui. Hold on a minute.
Hey, Miss
Morning,
Green.
Jen. Good to see you. Welcome. Uh-oh. Good morning, everyone. The hostesses with the
With the
mostest are
most.
looking fabulous.
It's on that when they are rally this morning. The hostess with the
Thank
most.
you.
Whoopsie. Mhm. All righty. So,
Oh,
as we all know, whenever our guests come in, they are told, hey, this is an unscripted show. And so we're ready to rumble this morning. So we'd like to welcome those of you who are here. So, Dr. Jamala, how are you doing? You told us you're doing fabulous.
Yes, I
And
am.
so
I'm doing
we just want to welcome you, open the floor and just start our conversation because as the promo indicates that you've been an educator for over 16 years. So we're not doing a question and answer thing. We just want to flow. But the first question we'll ask is, how did you start in education? And we'll flow right after that.
starting point as a young lady in Jamaica. I graduated high school, but as usual, you don't have the money to go to college. you have to get a job, or you try to find some kind of skill or something. So my foundation started with the Heart Foundation in Jamaica. After high school, I literally went to Heart Foundation, did a few courses, and then was placed at Lister Miracle School for the Deaf. That's in Papine, in Kingston. I did a year there working under a wonderful young lady, Michelle Davidson, if you're out there, hello. Learn the ins and outs of working with students with hearing impairments or deaf kids or children who are dumb, as we call it. I did that for a year. When the experience ended, I decided, this is probably something I could do. So that was my very first touch of the world of special education. After that, I went to School of Hope for the mentally retarded. It has a different name now because now
I remember School of Hope. Yeah.
So I worked in Spanish Town under another teacher. I worked as an assistant teacher, Mrs. Moncrief and Miss Stevens. And the support from the rest of the staff there was amazing. You're young, you come out, them just want to teach you the ropes and make sure you don't get yourself in trouble, and learn all you could know, all you could learn. That was really the foundation of where I wanted my life to go, because it was interesting. I think growing up as a kid, I've only seen kids with Down syndrome. So, that's pretty standard. You see kids with features and they look different, so you know that they're different. If you don't hear them speak, or if you don't know right off the bat that something is different about them, you won't know. So fast forward, I moved to the States, started college here. And when I initially came, I wanted to go into hearing impairment. But at the time, in 1998, that was really never a major. So the advisor said to me, well, how about do liberal arts? And the first taste of college, community college in the Bronx Community College. And I majored in liberal arts with education as a minor, elementary education as a minor. Yes. A very eye-opening experience. I miss my family so much. I used to cry. I want to go back home. I don't know what.
All the way.
Yes.
And the little support that I had was enough. But, I grew up in a very tight-knit family. My mom and 3 other girls, my sisters. So we were very close. And my mom always taught us, no matter what, the 4 of you are together. If she have 1 icy mint, make sure you split it among the 4 of you. So, back then in 1998, when I first came here, that was my first go-to. My sisters calling back home and just seeking that comfort of, how am I going to make it? And then a few friends as well, just continue to push me. Remember your goal, remember your dreams. After Bronx Community College, I went to Lehman College, started my bachelor's there. And I did psychology. I said, maybe I should switch fields because I don't know if this education thing going to work if I do hearing impairment or work with deaf kids.
Right.
So I switched the focus to psychology, got my bachelor's in psychology. I met my paternal sister here, who then introduced me to the world of working with kids. So I started working for ACS right after the bachelor's degree. And then I said, you know what, this isn't for me. I heard about something called the Teaching Fellows. So from the Teaching Fellows, I started my master's in special education. So this now kind of pushed me back to, to the why. Why special education in the beginning. So I went into special education and got my master's in SPED. And it's a dual master's. So I got my master's in urban education and special education, focusing only on the elementary grades. So in 2007, I started working for the Board of Ed as I went through the teaching fellows. So that's kind of like a jumpstart program into teaching. They help you through, paid for part of the degree, and you paid for the rest, and they immersed you into a school where you get the support that you needed. So my first year, I did general education, but I didn't like it. So, let's just go back to special ed. After I passed all the tests, I full-fledged into SPED. My first school was a school in Harlem. And man, I said, if I could do this for myself, I'd be so happy. Always wanted a school.
Mm-hmm.
To mold my dreams, mold my goals, but it looks so far-fetched. Could I reach it? I said, you know what? Maybe God not ready for me yet.
Mm-hmm.
I worked there for 12 years as a teacher, then assumed the role as a site coordinator, and then decided, you know what, maybe I should see what else is out there apart from elementary education, because that's all I knew. I went to one of the ladies there gave me a principal's name. She said, you know, my daughter works for this principal, and she said she's really good. And I know you want to change from elementary, so check her out. I sent her my resume, and she called me in for an interview and said to me, well, this school is general ed, and it's only for pre-K kids. I don't know what I'm going to do with you here. All you have is special ed background. I said, but that's what I like. And, you know, a lot of kids are coming in and we don't know what they're like.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you call special ed, but, you know, I could fit in somewhere. So she said, what can you do? You know, what do you do for fun? I said, I love to sing. You know, I love music and I love art. So she said, would you like to teach at least 3 days a week?
Yes.
Other days you work towards leadership? And I said, well, I'm doing my doctoral program now and it's in special ed, so I don't know how music is going to fit in. And she said, well, you make it work. You figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
There were some children there who were on what we called an individualized education program. However, the supports were not present in the school.
Mm-hmm.
So I started working with teachers.
So can I butt in a little bit? So this was in New York?
This is in New York City.
This is in New York, okay.
Manhattan.
Oh.
So I started working with teachers on building the skills of the children who they call lower functioning students or children with behavior, because that was my background, and they're on IEPs. From there, this was in 2017. So fast forward to 2017 in the preschool setting. The principal said, at the time they call them directors, you know, the chancellor is asking us to open classroom for special ed kids. And I have no idea what that would look like. Since you have the special ed background, I've asked all the teachers I know who are coming from SPED backgrounds, but nobody wants to do it. Will you take that venture on? And I said, well, yes, that's special ed. So I took that on, started 2 classrooms for students with preschool students with disabilities. And it was a success. They asked me again to open 2 more classrooms. So that led me to early childhood, and I've been in early childhood since.
Mm.
When I opened those classrooms, I said, I've always wanted a school. I've always said I'm going to go back to Jamaica and build my own school. You know, I don't know if I'm going to be able to go back. Why not start it here?
Mm-hmm.
I talked to a lot of support system, and everybody tell me, if it's that you wanted to do it. But, you know, the money was never there. You work, you do what you have to do, you support your
Always
family.
an issue.
Yes, there's always a distraction, always a bump in the road, something. And one of my sisters said, all you have to do, among with other people, Shern was one of them who told me, put God first, Jamala, everything will fall into place.
Right.
So for those of you listening, always, always at the forefront of every thought, action, every milestone, put God first. And that's exactly what I did. In 2022, I refueled my dreams, reconnected with the why I wanted to start my own school, you know, and just sat down and broke down all my goals, all my dreams, and picked at it piece by piece just to see, okay, which one you're going to attack first.
Mm-hmm.
And that brought me to opening a childcare facility for young children with disabilities. Majority of the students, the children that we serve here, children either on individualized family service programs because they're younger kids, so they on IFSP instead of IEPs.
Mm-hmm.
It was a tough road, and now I can.
I am sure, because that's a really challenging field, and you have to have that passion in order to undertake such a feat, because I do understand it a little bit, because my own niece is autistic, and I understand you may have been dealing with the kids who have who are blind. You started with the kids who are blind and maybe deaf kids, and then Down syndrome and all of that. But it all falls under that spectrum, and I do understand how challenging it can be. So
Right.
Yes,
we
yes.
commend you. You have to have passion in order to take that on.
And then in addition to passion, Jamila, you have to have support
Yes,
to
yes.
start that
Right.
business. So how
yes,
did
that's
you
big.
make that work? Who supports you?
There are so many people. You know how they say it takes a village? There are
Right.
Yes.
people, my friends, my sisters, my husband, my children, because my immediate family, they were the ones it was going to affect most. When I decided, you know what, maybe it's time to step back a little. My girls were very young when I started the preschool job. When I went back to school, they were very young, and everybody was saying, you know, they're babies. You sure you want to go back to school right now? But I saw that as a way to refuel, step back, and observe and see what my next steps were. So my husband, my children, my sisters, I have friends. Boy, if I call everybody's name, it would take you guys the whole day. And but there were so many people, my coworkers, there were some coworkers who were very vital in what they provided. And when I say support is such a big word. If it's a word of encouragement, if it's people giving me materials, if it's people giving me a hug when I say, well, I just don't know if this will work. I remember when there was only one kid that I started with, and everybody was saying, more will come, more will come. And month 1 came and no more came. Month 2 came, no more came. And month 3 came, and then you start seeing, kids trickling in.
Right.
But mentally and emotionally, I also, I have I call that person my professional support, who would just help me to put things in perspective. Remember why you're doing certain things. So it was very tough in the beginning, but there were so many people who rallied around me, cousins, aunts, my husband's. There are three important. I would say they're like sisters to me from my husband's side. Very, just always there. One of them call us the wolf pack. They're always there. I can pick up the phone and call them at any time. They're like sisters. They're part of my family, and they're there pushing me and saying, "You can do this. You can do this. You're smart. You wait to and you have to surround yourself with people, individuals who
are positive. Positive people, yes.
And impacting. The positivity. Sometimes it's easy for us to come out with and say, Jamala, you can do this. But not many people will pick up the phone every day and call you, or every week, and say, you need anything? What can we do? How can we help? I remember some of them rally around to help me to get furniture, help me to get materials. So, they're impacting not just positivity, but individuals who are there for you through the thick and the thin. Not when something is always good, but when bump in the road.
So how many students do you have now in
there
total?
are 14 in total, but school is like a roundabout or a rocky road. Sometimes they're up and sometimes they're down.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Just like everything else in life. Yeah.
Enrollment changes when it's ready, but right now there are 14 children.
Right. Well,
Wonderful.
thank you for sharing the journey. And something, when we were growing up, we could identify with other adults or children who we considered either were fool, then dunce, them slow,
Are mad.
or they're mad.
Are mad people.
Yeah, or they're mad. And looking back now, the focus, unlike today, because today our society is more driven to protect and care for them in Jamaica. But then that was the thing. If you're very unstable, if you're unstable at any time, they send you out to Windward Road, right? Out to Bellevue. And they even chuckled in the process, as people would say, oh, if we carry you out there, so we get milk or Milo.
I was about to say that. People used to say that if I
Yes.
take you over to Bellevue,
Yeah.
I will get a compensation, a tin of Milo and milk. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that was a running joke, which was now we know that was very crass.
Of
You know what I
course.
mean? Because there were
Yes.
no resources for those individuals back
Mm.
then.
No.
Yeah,
And some of them
yeah.
who were placed in that institution, that really wasn't where they should have been placed either.
Exactly,
Yes. True.
exactly. There
From
are a lot
like,
Right.
of
Exactly.
misdiagnosis, and everybody was just
mhm,
dumped together.
yeah.
Yeah.
But like
Yes.
Jamala now, who chose to enter a field like this, because not only are you have a school and you have the support, but you have the heart, you have the
Yes.
compassion, you have the
Oh,
empathy,
yes. You know
right?
what? That makes a
You
big
know how a
difference,
lady
because
can.
sometimes you see people enter into fields because it's lucrative.
Mm-hmm.
They look at it as, but there is no passion, just like our topic says.
Mm-hmm.
There's no passion. They don't have the heart for it. They're just in it just for what they can get out of it. But when you're passionate
Cultivate.
and you
True.
really care
True.
about the outcome and the lives of these individuals,
Yes.
it will show it will show. It will definitely show.
You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Because
growing
families are really in need of persons like Dr. Spencer with the heart and the
Yes.
know-how. You know what I mean? Because not only did she have the heart, but she made sure she equipped herself,
yes,
Mm-hmm.
and like she said, one thing at a time. I've talked to her about it over years, and she just purpose driven, very very steadfast in achieving her goals. So she's a success story that I am very very happy for and very very proud of.
And we're so glad that you
Awesome.
recommended her, Shanzi. So thank you for
Yeah,
recommending her, because we've had our guests in different disciplines. But when it
yeah,
comes on to children, there's something that's unique about how you nurture a young child, more so
right.
children who have
Disabilities.
special
Yes.
needs and so on. So here is our producer who is saying, let me add Jacqui back. Miss Jax, I see you stepped away temporarily.
I'm sorry, I
Yes,
had to get some water.
that's okay. So here is producer saying, Dr. Jamala Spencer, woman of power, passion, and purpose. Please allow me to big up another remarkable woman
Yeah,
from Jamaica.
Absolutely.
thank you.
Absolutely.
yes,
And
Absolutely.
look who
You
came.
know, ladies,
Pride
growing
and
up,
purpose.
sometimes we look at and back in the days, like Lady B said, you you look at these people as mad people because
Mm-hmm.
that's how we were taught that
Mhm.
they're crazy.
Yes.
Make sure say you're not gonna near that mad one day. Even kids growing
Yes.
up. But my eyes
Mm-hmm.
have become so open to putting yourself always in someone else's shoes. Do they have the capability, the propensity to know how? A lot of them, they just need that push. They need someone to help them get to the next steps. So I say to people with children with, challenges, whether it's cognitive delays, whether it's a physical disability, whether it's a social disability or a social delay, put yourself in that person's shoes and to
Yes.
every walk that walk with them. And yes, it's all
Mm-hmm.
about making sure that you get the job done, but you have to have that heart. You have
Mhm.
to have that love, that passion for working with anyone, whether it's grown-ups or children, with any kind of delay or disability.
Yes, yes. And if I may share
Yes.
briefly, so I had personal experience, because when I had my son, he when he was born, day one, he just vomited, that kind of projectile vomiting. And at first they didn't know what was wrong, and it ran for months. He lost the little baby fat he may have, everything out of whack, electrolytes, all kind of something was just haywire. And he ended up having a seizure. And from that seizure, we had to do 2 surgeries on stomach, all kinds of stuff went on. And then as he started to develop, I realized something is off. He wasn't growing at his level. And so I'm saying, no, something wrong. And then, in Jamaica, they send you here, they send you there. At one point, they had sent me up to Hope, School of Hope. And when I went there, I'm like, oh, no, 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 no. This is not the place. And so I started scouting around. It took me a while. It was the first 7 years of an experience. And so I learned about, at that time now, the different kinds of developmental delay, disability. I was like an expert. I documented everything, and the vomiting, and he couldn't keep down. It was a story of my life until eventually I was able to get him into school, and I almost couldn't find nobody to take him because he was in and out of hospital for so long. He couldn't start school when he should have. And so, he started school a little later, maybe like he was 7 or 6, something, when he could have gone to basic school earlier, that kind of thing. But I'm telling you,
Right.
and I had to say, if you all do not get him into this school, because they referred me now to one in my area where I lived. When I went down, they were very nice. Oh, the classes are full. And I said, listen, it's the last X amount of years, and I've been in and out of hospital and all kind of stuff. If you all, because I was always if you all don't enroll him here today, I'm going down to the Glen. I was
Of course.
And right away, they hear Gleaner. And
Everybody jump.
You know, I hear Gleaner.
Yeah,
you know, I hear that. Yes.
Cabinet drawer fly open, recorder come out, information. And I'm ever walking with my documents.
I don't want to hear that.
Right.
I know what it is, and
Yes,
I started to advocate.
Your son's biggest advocate.
Yeah, and I started to advocate for people. I would pay attention. I remember going to the the hospital one day for follow-up, and people just look at me, pitying me. I'm built with something. I'm telling you. One lady come
You're built of stirring up stuff.
I am telling you. I mean,
Yeah.
so I know what it is like, and when you look different, people will look at you. That's a normal human reaction.
Absolutely.
Response.
Every time, yes.
But I taught him to walk, because I said, I'm not going to have no little child who not walking. I would go home every evening, massage his limbs, because he was laying down for, at intervals for so long in the hospital. So his physical mobility and so on. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I got him to walk. I would drill him around the ring road where I live.
So you practically did what the occupational therapist would have done. You
Yeah.
realize that
I was about to say that. Yeah.
you assume that skill.
I know what it is like. So you, having started your school and opening doors to people who could not know what to do in the first instance.
And Lady D, these are the young ones. So it is very important, at least for me. A lot of parents, even in the school district, a lot of parents walk through the doors and they haven't a clue, not an idea of what to do. Where do I go with my son? I don't know what this is. Can you help? Can you explain this? So for me, it's starting that beginning process of integrating them into society, because they are people. They are going to grow up and contribute in some way.
Yes, of course, they're humans. Yes.
So right now I service my community and surrounding communities of, identifying the delays or what growth should look like at a certain age. And if you don't see it, and I know sometimes it's the textbook stuff, but we look beyond the textbook. Your child, at home, your child does this and does that and is not doing this. Okay, what do I do if he or she is not doing this? So for me, I help families to identify what are the developmental milestones that their children should be hitting. And if they're not hitting those developmental milestones, where do I go next? Who do I get myself involved with? Who do I talk to? First step is your pediatrician. After that, then maybe, the early intervention. Because a lot of parents, they don't know that they can get these services for their children. Speech pathology, speech therapy, occupational therapy, physical therapy, all their services to help. It's not the end all be all. You get them, once we become good at something, we can put it to the side until we're ready to pick up that tool again. So, it's not the end all be all. Sometimes it's also a stigma. It's sometimes, I don't want nobody to know that I have a child who is this way or that way.
Right.
Starting out early. So that's how I found my niche. Starting early with children can give them such a push to the performance that they will have in the future or years.
If I may chime in here, ladies.
Yes, ma'am.
Dr. Spencer, I applaud you because I'm going to go back a little further, ladies. Back in the days growing up as a child in my district, when there were disabled people, as we refer to them as mad people, it's funny because just the other day, my sister and I were talking, and we were talking about how we treated people back then. We would stone them, we would tease them, call them names, and do all manner of evil because we were young too. We didn't know, we were not educated, we were not exposed. So we didn't know any better. So we would really do them some things that, was inhumane. But as I got older and since I've been in this country and I learned more and I understand, I look back and I'm saying, oh my God, that was so wrong. But, if you don't have knowledge about something, then you won't do the right things. But now that I'm educated and have more knowledge of how and why, I do better. So I really applaud you for getting up into that field because somebody had to pick up the rein and run with it. And thank God it's you.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And,
you have to have that passion and that.
Yes. And I'm sure, so the emphasis here, 1 minute, Jack, the emphasis here is to empower women and people in general, because we are both male, females on, to empower people that whatever you is placed in here, something going on.
Right.
And it's just, it hasn't left you, no matter what you've pursued later in life. There's that one thing that you keep going back to and even saying, I wonder if it's too late. Should I start now? And so that's how we would like
Start with what you have, Lady D. Yes. Never too late. Start with what you have.
Right. And bringing
where you are.
Bring awareness to the communities. So especially for those who are the younger people, so they understand what is happening, because sometimes kids are growing up alongside what we call a normal child, and they see the difference. And like Max just said, they used to tease them or they just push them aside because they're different. But if they are made aware and somebody explained, to them what is happening with this child, and that child, yes, is different, and that's because of, we can't use cognitive to the young kids,
right?
But there must be some smaller words that we could use to explain to them what is happening. Like I said, my niece is autistic. And she's very brilliant. She's low on the spectrum, yes, but it started out with social issues and nonverbal for a long time. But when she started talking at almost 4, when she started talking, she was just fluent. And by then she could read fluently. She knew all the words. She could and she'll correct you too if you're not pronouncing the word correctly. And but still, she know all the big words in the book. She can read them. She's very, very fluent and very articulate. And but still, even though she's brilliant, she's like one of the top students in her class right now here. That's one of the reasons why my sister migrated from Jamaica, to get her the help that she needed, because she couldn't get that extra help. Because even though she's 8, she's still just learning to write because she couldn't grasp the pencil. That's one thing that happened with her. she had what you call it, texture issues and all. There's so many things. There's so many levels to it, you know. So my thing is educating people, the community, about what it is from early.
Yeah, yeah. If you're just joining us, welcome. It's Saturday morning runnings, and our guest is Dr. Jamala Spencer. Dr. Spencer has been sharing her journey, how she started her school for children with special needs, and it has been enlightening. Considering she's a young bird, and these days young birds
I'll
are not.
take that. I'll take that. Yes.
And these days, younger people, if you see a young person, say in their late 20s and 30s, who are embarking on these kinds of disciplines, then there has to be something that impacted them, whether
Yeah.
whether it was an individual, a situation, or
Mm.
something that impacted them, why they wanted to enter this field.
This
And
field.
it's
And,
interesting.
and Lady D, as you're saying it, I remember. I pause. What I know you're gonna say something, but I
Yeah.
am. I like you have said about your own self and your own journey. So many times, you had the broadcasting bug. You had that in mind. I mean, maybe you didn't even know, but you just liked it, and you would make believe, and you would make your headphones, and you would read newspapers if you were a broadcaster and all that. When I attended Dr. Spencer's graduation and she got her doctorate, I just had to be there. I was so happy for her. And I think it was her mother or one of her sisters, maybe it's Roxanne, one of them, maybe it's Roxanne, somebody was telling us that when she was little, she would pretend she was a teacher. You
Mhm.
know, she would pretend she was. Jamala, you remember that?
Yes. No,
We
remember.
were yeah, they were saying, she would pretend and she would line up the dolls or whatever, and she would teach them. And she was a little child, so we know that is a gift that was placed in her. And although she had to put it on the shelf for a while and go through the trenches, and everything came together, at a moment where she could now use all that exposure and all that experience and
Mhm.
everything that she went through to be able to be sufficient or more or proficient, I should say, in her chosen field.
Mhm.
So
Wow.
God don't make no
Yes.
mistake. When we are born, we are given a gift.
Yes.
And long as you avail
Yes.
yourself and
Yes.
decide to walk in
I'm
your
so glad
calling,
that you mentioned
Hold
that.
on, Jacqui.
it's
Hold
just
on.
blessings upon blessings. It just fall down like rain. So
Sure.
kudos to you, girl. Kudos to you, my darling Jamala.
Yes,
That's one
absolutely.
of my babies.
For a
Yes,
reason and a purpose.
Jackie, you
Yeah.
have a comment after
No,
you.
I was just telling Sharon, I'm so glad that she mentioned that. Like, when you were a kid, the little things that you used to do and so
That
on.
you would
Because
do.
when you think of it, sometimes when you cannot find your footing, like as to what to do, you got to a certain age and you still can't find your footing. Just you saying that is like a light bulb just went on in my head. Go back to
Same here.
childhood days and
Mhm.
think back at what you
Same
used to
here.
do. You know that I used to teach the grass how to cook. Like we tie
Wow.
up the grass, we tie up flowers in the grass here, put the dolly them in between because I didn't have enough grass there, and I put the dolly them in between, and I used to teach them how to cook and sew and talk to them, and then tell them must spell the word bat and rat and sat, and this is not
That's
correct.
right.
And I say, hold on there. But there was a few things so I could I know I could be a teacher. We could have designed clothes for Dolly when you think about
Jackie,
it.
I thought you was gonna say you was giving them injection.
I want to do that too.
Yeah, it's
I
amazing
think that's
how
the road that we have all been
Oh
through.
my God.
and
Oh
I
my
Dr.
think that's the
gosh.
road that we have all been through.
Yes.
Yeah, and
It's
Dr.
funny.
Spencer,
When I was a child,
really bringing
Oh
what's
my
the connect?
goodness.
Dr. Spencer
Okay.
is really bringing things to the fore because children, I've often said that your first relationship begins in your home.
Yes, it does.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That's where you learn different personalities, likes and dislikes, all kinds of
Mm-hmm.
things. That's where you observe each other, human behavior.
Yeah.
It does.
That's
Yes.
where
You
it
adopt
is.
it.
And
It's
we know
adopted.
that
Yeah.
families, I go back to our roots, if there's a child who is born different in a family,
Mm-hmm.
back then the first thing was either for them to ship them off somewhere.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
They
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't know.
Yeah.
As they realized
Yeah.
that's not happening. And the children were not taught how to be sensitive in the family, to protect.
Yeah.
And that was my mother's very first lesson to us as sisters.
Mhm. Mhm.
It is very important that we surround ourselves with individuals who care, who loves us, who will show us comfort no
Yes.
matter what. So that is where my first sharing, caring, just looking at others with empathy and sympathy. That is where it began.
Mm-hmm.
Siblings.
Yeah, yeah.
And I
And
transfer that
Okay.
to
Uh-huh.
the
yeah, man.
individual kids I work with.
Yes.
So I have another kind of question. With the current political situation, the political atmosphere right here in the United States now, and with the talk of dismantling the education department and all of that, and one of the areas that it will affect is the area of special needs children. Would that affect you?
No, it won't affect me to some degree. No, it is a private entity, so it's not public. So
Right. I was
can't
about to say
really-
that.
you can't really get. You don't know how kids are going to be born.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
Parents
right.
aren't not everybody is equipped to say, okay, I'm going to work with my child with Down syndrome. I'm going to work with my child with autism. I'm going to work with my child with cerebral palsy, and so forth. Not everyone is equipped to do that. So you will need that support. So,
Mhm.
in my opinion, I think the numbers might get lower, but this will
Mhm.
still exist. Education will still exist because
Mhm.
somebody
Yes.
will be there, whether it's formal or informal.
Formal.
Because why I asked before you go on, Jamala, some of these people get help. Some of these families get help from the
Yes.
government in
Right.
that area. So that's why I
Government.
asked
Yes,
if it
they
will
do.
affect, if you think it will affect
And
you. And it definitely, if they go through with it, it definitely will affect the families,
yes,
which is unfortunate.
for
But
some of them who get help, it might affect them.
and then it will trickle down, of course,
And it will
to a private entity like
Mm-hmm.
you.
yes, and there are others who will
Yes.
pay out of pocket to make sure my son
Yes.
or my daughter goes
Yes.
from point A to point B.
That is true.
Numbers
Because
will fall and numbers will go
Mhm.
up. So
Yeah.
it will
Yeah.
affect us to some degree, but it
Some
is
degree.
a private entity. So for parents who pay, because you do have parents who pay out of pocket, if they
Yes.
Mhm.
qualify for the help, and if that help is not there anymore, there's no point in proving whether or not I qualify.
And if I may add right here, because I can only speak from experience,
Mhm.
the company I worked at the time, when I went on maternity leave, they were downsizing and divesting, and all kinds of things were happening. So I was put on, I was the one to let go, and a few others.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So, they had their payouts, what have you. But at the time, I had one of the best health insurance you could think of. No tests for Alex was cost me nothing. But after that, I had to figure it out
Yes.
because he still had two, and I had a very good pediatrician. She was excellent, and she would send me to wherever she knew I could. Because your money start to get consumed now. You're
Mhm.
giving
Mhm.
full
Yes.
time health
No
care.
matter how much you have, it goes down.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
life is continuing, all of them stuff there. And I remember one day I'm like, Lord, you're going to remember me. You're going to remember me here because things are about to go
To
awry.
fall. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
in all of that, there is your mental as the parent, your
Mhm.
Oh
Right.
yeah. Oh yeah.
wellness,
And
which we weren't even using it like that
Mhm.
as we are today. But
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
would pray over myself and think going through these emotional upheavals and then ensuring that he's loved and and it affected his speech. And then afterward, him start up one whole potpourri.
Oh my God, you could write a book.
hmm
Mm-hmm.
But I would also, from the pulpit, when I got the opportunity, like when I'm leading anything or so, I am pitching and, encouraging people and so on. Maybe I should have just veer into that as, me no know. But hey, anytime
Advocacy?
I see, anytime,
Advocacy, you mean?
yes.
yeah, but anytime I see children or anyone,
Mm-hmm.
I am always very attentive and I am
Wow.
helpful as long as I can if I'm in this space or
Right.
I'm aware because I know what it is
What
and
it's like. Right.
not many people have.
That
And
experience.
no one them never make up. So, I tell people
Mm-mm.
I don't know what it is like. Oh, after he was born, I am pushing the stroller in the park, and people are coming over and saying, "Oh, what a little boy." And none of that. I have no clue what that looks like. Day one, he's just vomiting, vomiting. He can't keep in the milk.
Well, if you don't mind, Lady D, what was he diagnosed with?
Well, at one point, well, he had severe acid reflux.
Mhm.
So there is
Okay,
that.
that's what caused the
And
vomiting.
when they had done X-ray and stuff, the opening from the esophagus into the stomach was too wide. So
Oh,
when he
hence the
Okay.
reason for the
swallows,
vomiting.
So,
it couldn't
yeah.
contract to keep in. So it would
Yeah,
just
so he
Yeah.
had something similar to what they call dumping syndrome.
mm-hmm.
He
Mm-hmm.
would probably have something like called dumping syndrome
Yeah.
because there is no the sphincter, the right at the duodenum that
Mm-hmm.
closes to hold
Closes off,
in
yeah.
between the stomach and the esophagus right there. It's not tight enough, so
Mm-hmm.
everything goes through, and same as it go through, it come back.
Come
Come
right.
back out,
Yeah,
yeah.
because
Yes.
the vomiting, it comes from the diaphragm, and diaphragm is going to vibrate or it's going to contract and it's
Exactly.
going to, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
project. Everything is going to
Mm-hmm.
push back. So,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
wow,
But
that's
hey,
Mm.
that, and
I
at such a young
understand.
age, such a young age where he's not even strong.
No, day one,
Wow,
starting Monday, by Monday,
amazing.
Tuesday, no, Monday night, then Tuesday, okay, they carry him to me, blah, blah, trying to do the nursing bit. Hey, I tell you, I start write down everything. When I realize what this thing is running longer than,
Yeah.
I
Yes.
anticipated.
So he
Man,
couldn't keep anything down.
so
He
he
couldn't.
lost all the little baby fat, little baby weight.
Yes.
Then when I had taken him to, me not even bother go. That is not about me and the show this morning. We won't go there. So,
Yes, maybe we have to have another show. We have to have another show for that. How you
Gives
overcame
you
that and how,
insight, Lady
yeah,
D, of
that's
all
amazing.
the children who exist. Sometimes we don't even know
yeah,
what's going to happen, or how our children are going to turn out from the
We
moment they
don't
have.
know.
We don't know.
Absolutely.
So and in this case, you did everything that you could to make sure your son had a life that nobody had to look at him as him can't help himself or him can't do this. He's
right,
the biggest
right.
advocate. And being in special ed has taught me that it's not everything that you will know, but what you do know help to impact someone else so that
Mm-hmm.
you're
Absolutely.
equipped
Mm-hmm.
to work with a child with a delay or a disability.
Yes, absolutely.
In this turmoil that we're going through, I am hopeful. I mean, sometimes I do provide services where I'll help a parent. I'll create some symbols, or I'll write up something and then walk them through how to use it at home. Because here it's very structured, but then when they go home, parents often say, Mr. J, I don't even know what to do. I don't know what to do with my. All he does is scream, or all he does is pull everything out of the fridge. And I'll provide services like put these things in place. So, when you are blessed in a certain way, you pass that blessing on to someone to make sure that
Yes,
person.
yes.
And this is my way of giving back, helping
Mm.
someone along the way. Knock on wood, everybody born with something. Who knows? Because sometimes I think I'm crazy in some way.
Girl, don't even say it because it's so true.
You never know. And if I had someone to drop this on me and say, you know what, do this way, maybe it will work. I think it was Thursday, my old assistant principal said to me, and it's not that I couldn't think of it. I was so overwhelmed, and I called her up and she said, just change the time. Change the time you want to do it. And it worked out so well. But in the moment, you feel as if you're strapped. You don't know what to do.
Yes.
And my parents, that's how they feel. Miss J or Dr. J, I don't know what to do. And I help my community by providing what I know, impacting them in a way that they can be able to help their children.
Right. All righty. So here we are talking, and you're learning more about. All of us have shared bits and pieces of ourselves. Some of you perhaps didn't even know that, my son had developmental delay. All of that. He doesn't, But hey, it's just about what you do in the moment, how you survive, and
Yeah.
all of that. Let's hop on over to the comment section and greet up the people then, because they're over there saying stuff, and my producer is saying, hey, pay attention. So okay, so welcome everyone. You're just calling. What? Call 911. No, I can see her now. You tell me them, me queen. Okay, morning, Ryan. Yes. So Drea is saying, only recently a colleague and I was talking. I was saying how naive and foolish we were growing up. We used to imitate how them walk, etc. Lord, forgive us, please.
True.
This is
Yeah.
of repentance. Lady D, your challenges and resilience have made you strong, caring, and compassionate. You're a true inspiration. Fair disclosure. The girl is mine.
King Pupalika, what is man?
Yes, Mr. Green, we're hearing you.
I want to see you come on live con King Pupalik if you're bad.
That's easy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
Lord.
Bewildered, morning all day. Bewildered says, for Dr. Spencer, have you had experiences where a parent or guardian doesn't have the patience or sense of care for their children? You can answer that right now, and then we'll continue.
Yes, I have. And sometimes it's just educating the parent, and going through therapy with that parent, or recommending therapy. When we know how to do certain things, I think it becomes less heavy for us, less
True.
challenging for us to do. So yes, I've had plenty of those experiences, on my own, with my people around me, and with children with disabilities, and in the school system. And one of the things that I have done, along with a few of the members of the school team, is just making sure that we provide them that support that they need. This is where you can go. These are the things that you can do, and check in with them. Just follow up, check in, see how you're doing after all this has happened. So yes, I have.
Thank
Because
you.
sometimes they're overwhelmed too.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they're just overwhelmed because it's a lot. Maybe they have other kids, they have work, they have husband, they have families depending on them. It's just a lot. So maybe it's just that, they might be overwhelmed and
Yes.
it
And
might
there are
come
so
out
many
another.
services that are available now as we speak. We don't know what the future holds, but there are so many services like respite that people will come in and give parents of children with disabilities.
Oh yes, respect care.
Great.
They can have some time to go
Yeah.
rejuvenate themselves or do certain things that they want to do, run around, do the laundry, and take that child or those children out to a facility.
Yes.
Or to the
We talked about that one day on the show, Lady D, and I mentioned respite care
Yes.
for we were talking about adults.
Mm-hmm.
So in this case, it's the kids that can benefit.
So producer says, Andrea, now beat up yourself. Sis, now that we know better, we do better. So hey, we're all repenting.
Absolutely.
So Drea is asking me where is the book, somebody.
He soon come.
I have the title.
All right.
Never
That's the first thing.
Never the title. Okay. Marcia says, yes, Sherns, every M can possibly she would gather to teach.
That's one of her sisters.
Yes.
The empty cans you're talking about. Don't give out the secrets, please.
She used to be.
I used to teach the empty cans.
Yes, Marsha. I was, yes.
Take out the sardine tin and the bully beef tin them from underneath the bed, picnic. My students may have to for the next day.
That was your first student.
That's okay. The new administration claims funding will be done at state level. They're only getting rid of DOE existence at the federal level. Let's see. Thank you, Roxanne. In that case, it should not affect Dr. Spencer and other special needs childcare programs. So, producer says, woman of power, passion, and power with mother's tender love, virtuous woman of respect. Thank you, sir.
Yep, that's it right there.
Yep. Okay, wait, Arlene.
Arlene.
Oh
gosh. Good morning, Arlene. Welcome.
So the expression simply means, Arlene, we're glad to see you. You're late.
Yeah.
That's really what we're saying.
She knows that.
So 1 minute can't full Arlene belly. So,
but we still don't see Pat yet. So Pat might be later.
Oh Lord, that will come in for that Lord. That will come in, but
yes,
I'm glad. I am glad in my spirit that when I had my experience, I remember one day. So because he vomited so much, I couldn't lay him flat. So from early, I had to prop him up, but I knew how to, so it wouldn't affect his spine and development in that way. So I would prop him up into, as we call it, a tub. You remember them big green plastic or red or
wash pan. Wash pan.
No, wash pan. No, man. Wash pan is metal.
Yeah.
My grandma I know had
put bedding in there and lay them up in there.
Yeah.
Even though it's metal, they put bedding in it and blankets and stuff and prop them in there.
Yeah. Yeah, but somebody I know had put their baby in the dresser drawer. Because that's what worked. When Melody talking about the propping up, seriously, she had to put her baby in the dresser drawer. I mean, she not gonna push in the drawer, lock him up in there.
No.
But she pull out the drawer, put the bedding, and that was where she had to keep the baby because of special needs. Yeah, in the form, in the early days. Yeah.
Yes. So I had to prop him up in there, so to prevent him from vomiting.
Right.
If I gave him 1 ounce, it would come up. So I had to introduce solids, crushed stuff, even before time. But I knew how soft to make it so he wouldn't choke. Because he's a baby, not teeth yet, none of that.
You're right.
But all of those stepping stones I had to go through. And one day I had him in the tub. and he was roasting with fever. I put him under the pipe and then I realized something was off, and that was when the seizure was coming.
Yeah.
So me fly to his pediatrician. They tried to get him a bed at UA. Oh, whew. And one day I sit down and he's there, and I looked and I said, dear, I cried over myself. And then after that, me put myself aside. Because at this point, I'm saying it's not about me, but I was so
It's
saddened
not
for
about,
myself. Yeah, and I said, Lord, please show me what to do. Help me. And after that, I was proactive as a ants. I am busy trying to figure my way through so he could survive. And he had a beautiful personality. He would
Wow.
smile at the drop of a hat and had a good sense of humor, laughing way like no tomorrow. And the two of us, I'm telling you. But I know the stepping stones. I know what it is. I know when the doctors are look at me like, boy, I think this is the last day.
wow.
I know what it is like to just lose things that I had to cover my expenses. I know what it is like because he had to survive. I know what it is like to
So you
wake
were
up
in
in the
full
morning,
survival mode
full
as a mother.
survival mode. I would get
Yeah.
up one morning and it's like the spirit just wake me. And when I touch him, roasting with fever, because that's something he would have frequently. Me have to
Mm-hmm.
go in the bathroom, put him in cold water. One
And
thing
that could
though,
contribute to the seizures.
yeah, one thing it would come down though. And
Yeah.
hey, I can share story.
How let me ask you a question. How did you know to put him under the water? Because back then you have a fever, your grandparents would never think of putting you under water.
When he had gone to the Bustamante Children's Hospital, I would not repeat the episode there, so but all I am saying, hey,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a nurse who had come by and said, do this quickly. And so that's what I did. And after that, but there were other
Okay.
things because I grew up around my cousins and so on. You know, I saw how things were done. I'm older and would help with them and all of that. So, you know, you learn after a while certain things, but that worked. And I am telling you,
Wow.
yes, oh dear.
Mhm.
So my husband said, here is the Alex story. That one is hard, no fluff. So me never come with no fluff. And
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I had shared my story and thing. But I'm telling you, so for parents out there, and when you see people, Una would see me and say, oh, Lady D look like she never care. She not learn no hardship. She not know nothing like that. Not
Oh,
no so.
if they only knew.
Yeah.
Not a thing gossip.
Semi glory, but
Like
you
they,
don't know my
like they
story.
say, like they
All
say,
right,
you
man.
don't look like what you've been through.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
You
So
know, you don't look like what you've been through. So you can't go off of looks, because I'm telling you, if you go off of looks,
It's not
half
the
of us
same.
wouldn't look as good as we look, because as
yeah.
they would say, you're going through hell bareheaded,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
and you just have to keep going. So
Right.
it
So
hasn't
let's
been
do.
easy. So we
So we're wrapping up in a few. Arlene says, okay. I am forever grateful and beyond blessed to be a part of this platform. Just to log on, it's a belly full. We thank you. So Alice
Thank
says,
you,
I'm
darling.
extremely proud of Dr. Spencer and the amazing things that she's doing in the lives of our young special needs children. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Mm-hmm.
yes,
Mhm.
And for those of for those of you who are listening, or even know someone who is thinking of starting their own dream, or just don't even know where to start. For
Mhm.
me, putting God first was most important. And I
Mm-hmm.
want to leave these points with you. Reconnect with your why, your purpose. Break down your goals and your dreams and pick at them piece by piece. There is no better time to start. Don't wait till this is going to happen. Start now, because I was in that boat. Assess what's blocking you. Look at, why can't I do this? Why can't I start? And change your perspective. Take on the perspective of I will, I must. And start, just do it. Just do it. Start exactly where you are. Make sure you have individuals in your lives who are positive and impacting. My network of people were so impacting on my life. My husband, my children, even the little ones tell me, Mom, you can do it. They were my biggest cheer. My husband, my children,
Very
my mom,
good.
my sisters, my husband's nieces, my assistant principal, my friends, my friend them from long time, some new ones I've acquired along the way. As long as they're impacting and positive, they're willing to reach out to you and say, hey, let me walk this walk with you if I can. Whatever way they can contribute. And be thankful, just and remember to always include God in whatever steps you are going to take. And Google was my best friend for parents out there struggling. Google the information. Where can I go to find this? Who can I ask to find this? And touch base. It is no question is too stupid or too big. Ask questions.
Yep.
Thank you.
They were made for that purpose.
Awesome.
Very good. Awesome.
Right. I love that, because that's something
Yes.
we mentioned on the show on Thursday. Say, hey, what is it that you haven't done that's just there like a sixth sense? Say, hey, I'm over here still. What is it? It's not too late. So thank you for sharing that, and for sharing your journey with us and the lives that you are nurturing in your profession. The parents love you.
Yes, I'm telling you. It's like they don't want these children to go home.
Yes. And you're sharing the coping skills, how they can manage. So that's so good.
So it's a full childcare facility that runs during daytime business hours.
Yes, daytime business hours.
Okay. And where is it located?
It's upstate New York in Wallkill.
Oh, okay. First thing that came to my mind was the Bronx. I mean, we're seeing a lot more of these cases, a lot more children with special needs. But and we'll say that it's the times that we live in and the foods that we eat and whatever. I think one of the main things is that they were not being diagnosed properly. So now the diagnosis is more there, readily there. You're seeing it more. So hence your facility is, comes in very handy for parents who are in need and really need someone, because they really do not fit into the regular schoolroom.
Some of them don't.
Because sometimes they don't fit into the regular schoolroom, because they'll just be looked down on. They'll be ignored, probably even by the same teachers. The kids will pick on them or whatever. So they do need a space for themselves.
And they're young now, so it's good to start when they're young, so that you can include them into the general population.
Yes.
No matter what they are.
Yes.
Children. So
yes, that's why the diagnosis is so important at an early stage.
Yes.
So we thank you.
Yes, thank you. So let's just wrap up with our comments over here. Husband says we need to compile these Satideh Morning Runnings Chronicles into a book.
Locks, you really want the pig jump out of the bag again? The boss. Oh, Jamala, you have to go way back and watch these shows so you can understand what the pig in the bag means.
If I may respond to that, if I may respond to what Mr. Green just wrote, it's funny because just this week I was thinking that we could do a show where we revisit the older
clips,
shows, and just show bits and pieces of it. Like we do a compilation show, bits and pieces of the more highlighted part, and
that
make
could
it
be
that
in a
into a
huddle
show
We could do a huddle
Yes.
and discuss that. Yeah.
And talk,
Yes,
yes, and discuss that. Yeah.
Yeah.
good idea. Thank you, Max.
Absolutely.
Okay, so King
Okay.
says, I cannot believe Queen sitting down all this information. We need a show. Okay, no problem. And I
I
can
can
be
be
the one interviewing you. I can ask you all the questions. Okay, sir.
all right, King.
Speak to CEO. Okay. Oh, G. Fraser says, wow, you're a strong woman, Lady D, with God. Thank you. Okay, and then we go to Arlene. That's the reason you don't judge the book by the cover.
Oh.
Absolutely.
Eval says, no, Sharon, she not look like what she go through. She fabulous.
We
Thank
know, we know.
Arlene says, put God first
Yes.
in everything. When you ask God for things, whether you get or get back, still tell God thanks. That's right. And
Yes.
says Dr. Jamala, have the gratitude thing down. Enough respect.
Thank you, Mr.
Well done, Dr. Spencer.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Jamala Spencer, for the encouragement. That's Melissa. Arlene says, always keep a praise in your mouth in good times and bad times. Pick up yourself, Doctor. God bless you.
Thank you.
That's it. We're wrapping up. So, how do you, and we're, as we're wrapping up now, so the week ended, what are you thinking of for the coming week? What does that look like? You start mapping out already.
Yes. Plans for next week, what the children will be working on, and if a curveball comes one way, then how do I address it? So kind of putting things down on paper works for me. As earlier we were talking, and I said I have all these sticky notes. of what things are. So the week for next week, just touch base. I usually touch base with the families on late Saturday or Sunday, and just if there's anything that I should know of, and any
Nice.
information that they need,
That's nice.
and then work
Yes.
from there.
So your work is never done.
Religious.
Yes, a lot of people don't do that. A lot of facilities don't do that. Can I be inquisitive? I see some drawings in your background. Are those from your children or from your students?
They're from the children.
Wow.
Some of them are from the kids in the city, and some of them are from the current kids. Yes.
Wow.
Nice.
Yes, you me fast.
Yeah.
But that's great.
Yeah.
When they love you, you can tell. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wonderful.
And in a business of this nature, you need support. So, it would be ungracious of us not to extend that request to our audience to say, hey, here is Dr. Jamala Spencer. She has her school for special needs children. Make sure it's not easy.
Mm-mm.
So if you'd like to, send your support, how can they make contact with you, Dr. Jamala?
I can tell you my email and put it in the platform. Is there a way I can share it? So it's Jacer, Jacer, fundamental. I was looking for the text box. jacerfundamental@gmail.com. So JACERFundamental@gmail.com.
Okay. Right.
Thank you.
Of course. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're wrapping up now, because places to go, things to do,
Yes.
people to see. The one Shern's is already out.
This is a drive-by I was doing, as you can see.
So,
Careful, don't use those words. Careful.
I know.
Drive by.
This is a drive-by.
but
Yes.
power, purpose, and passion, I am telling you. And it's God's power. It's His purpose, what He wants for our lives, and the passion that He has given us to go seek, look for it, find it. What makes that adrenaline rush happen, kind of thing. Everything comes from Him.
Yeah.
And when we're obedient,
and there's a saying, there's a saying too that passion fuels purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Passion you have,
it
it fuels
does.
your purpose.
There
Yeah,
you
because you're
go.
gonna have your high, like Dr. Spencer said, you're gonna have your highs and lows. You know
Yes.
what I mean? And she mentioned curveballs and things of that nature. So it's not because it's a good thing, and all should be able to see it. There's
Yes.
always gonna be some down moments, some moments of challenge, and I always said these moments help to build your muscles. It makes you, dig deeper and know that it's a source bigger than you, and you dig deeper because you know what your purpose is.
And
Yes.
don't
Yep.
always
So
look at
yeah,
challenges.
so it's a testimony
Yes. Don't
section
always
right
look at
here.
challenges. Celebrate your progress. Celebrate your
Right.
process. And give thanks in between.
Yes. And as you say that, and we're wrapping up, there are many people who do not know how to accept a compliment. People will
Yeah.
see you doing well and they want to laud your efforts and they will extend a compliment. And the response I've heard from many, and I've had to correct people and say, pause. Saying thank you doesn't mean that you feel like you have it going on since
Mm-hmm.
sliced bread came. It is just a courtesy to say thank you because they see your work, they see what you're
Yes.
doing. People will say,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I know nothing, it's all right. No, you have been putting in
Appreciate
the
it.
work, they appreciate you. Say thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Because then when you give them a response like that, they're looking at you and wondering, what is that? I have gone out of my way to acknowledge your work, your worth.
Yes.
So, I would like Dr. Spencer is saying, thank you. Here we are. I didn't know you from Adams. We didn't know you from Adams, with the exception of, our conscious one, Shern. But listening to you this morning, Dr. Spencer, we realize that you are giving your service to
Mm-hmm.
humanity, and a little bit is a little
Yes.
people you're giving the service to and providing the support to families who would know what to do otherwise.
Right.
We
Right.
want to bless you this morning and
Yeah.
say
Thank
thank
you.
you
Thank
for what you are doing, because these children are able to go home to their parents. They're able to show a picture, even a little word,
Mm-hmm.
something.
you. Yes.
And the fact that you huddle with them before you get back in the classroom to work on a Monday, you're asking anything out of sorts, what I need to pay attention to,
Yes.
things like that. So you
Mm-hmm.
care. You don't just say, well, all right,
Yeah.
Friday, see you on a Monday.
True.
Right.
And our work is continuous. It's like working
Yes.
7 days per week. It's
Yeah.
continuous.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So,
Yeah.
Thank you, ladies, for having me.
it's a
And to the
pleasure.
viewers for tuning in. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. I see
Thank
Lady
you.
D with the thumb.
Thumbs up.
Yeah. Thank you, Roxanne. Roxanne is just dropping in the
Yes.
name of it. So,
And Marcia says, I'm absolutely proud of you, my sister. Continue to impact the lives of the special little people and families. It takes a village, and that village starts with you and the JASER team. All righty,
yeah.
good thing. And here it is
Very
again,
nice.
JASER fundamental. I like that. The emphasis on the fundamental beginnings in Walton, New York. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you,
And
ladies.
if you can check in with us, tell
Yes,
us
we do.
progress. If you're having anything and you want us to come show with face,
Yes, we'll do.
we will take the drive and
Can I
come.
can I just brag here? She has
Please.
twin girls. She has twin girls who are my goddaughters. They
Mm-hmm.
are gorgeous and they are equestrians. Okay? So for those
Really?
of you who the equestrian is running over your head, them ride horses and
Yes.
beautifully. I'm sorry, if I was at home, I would drop a pic in so you all could see. So
Yes.
whenever they're having, what you call it, Jamala, when they're
The
having their
shows,
thingies,
the shows, yes, the riding shows.
your shows, When
Yeah.
they're jumping and they're trotting and they're doing that stuff and getting their ribbons, we taking a ride upstate. You know, hear me?
Thank you. Yes.
Yes.
I'll meet you
Yeah,
Nice.
but
you guys.
Looking forward.
yeah,
Looking
it's
forward.
normal. You know, catch in the morning, but we may have to do the runnings and then go to the show. But yeah, phenomenal,
I'll do
phenomenal.
the show on the run-ins.
Oh, yeah.
Me and Lady we go. Me and Lady we go upstate. I'm producer. We go
You
upstate.
could do a live broadcast from there.
Yes.
Yes.
Nice, nice. So,
Yeah.
also,
All right,
are they
guys, I got to
fraternal?
run.
1 minute, Jack. Are they fraternal or identical?
They're fraternals. Yes.
Okay, yes, got you.
Yeah.
Well,
Fraternal,
okay,
okay.
looking forward. Is that? Can we get a lesson? Because my experience of mounting.
Lady,
Oh Lord, no, we can't.
We can
Yeah,
Give me a throw.
I
you
am
could
quite sure
probably.
they will be gentle with you. I am quite sure they'll be gentle with you, but they always teach you about the horse first before they go on.
Yes,
Put you
sir.
on the horse.
Okay. This time
Yeah.
I'll ensure
And-
I will the instructions. Woo.
Yes.
Oh, your comments are here, sir.
Oh,
I
no.
will visit them. Hold on a little. May the Lord increase your territory, Dr.
Thank
J.
you.
Blessings to
Thank
you
you,
and
Miss
your
Green.
family.
Thank you.
Hi. Okay. Well, we're gone. So, Dr.
Yes,
J,
may
you
have to
know,
run.
Yes.
as when in Jamaica, you know, as you are traversing through the I'm not going to say the remote parishes. I'm just going to say as you cross through the island
Mhm.
and you stop anywhere. Somebody might be stand up at Shern's gate. So Shern's where you say now.
Mhm. May I go in?
All right.
Yeah.
And Max where you say now.
May I,
May I go around, so?
Mm-hmm. Jacqui.
may I go over?
Yes, come now, Dr. Spencer.
And I say, take it easy.
All right.
Wow, that's a new one.
Check around.
That is
Check
love that,
around
love
there.
that.
That's the more polished version.
Hey, take it easy. She'll go round.
So
May I
we are
come go?
thanks to everyone for tuning in, but we are going go on round, go down, galang round, go round. So go
Hey,
in.
hey, and go up. May I go up? Come go up, Lady D.
And
Come
go
go up.
Yes.
Come go up.
Whoopsie.
All right.
All right.
Thank you everyone for tuning
Have a
in.
good
Okay.
rest of the week.
Everybody, take it easy. Enjoy your week.
Okay, bye-bye.
Blessings,
All
everyone.
right.
Hi, I'm Lady D Denise Gomez, and I have exciting interview segments and features inside the zone. For recording artists, you can sing? Well, Inside the Zone, second Thursdays at 7:30 p.m. is for you. Writers, share your story, no man, in From the Author's Zone on third Thursdays at 7:30 p.m. Male Zone has unbelievably juicy stories of love, heartbreak, and triumph. 7 p.m. has never been this good. On Mondays, it's news, talk, engaging features at 7 in the Monday Drive. And Center Stage has everyone talking on Thursdays. Be a part of the show. Email me insidethezone@gmail.com or call me 914-304-2592. Power, purpose, and passion. Join us for Satideh Mawnin runnings on March 29 as we wrap up International Women's Month with an inspiring finale. It's about power, purpose, and passion as Max, Shern's, Jacqui, and Lady D talk up the tings alongside our phenomenal guest, Dr. Jamala Spencer. Dr. Spencer, a trailblazing special educator with over 16 years of experience in elementary and early childhood special education, will take the stage to share her incredible journey. She'll reveal the how, where, when, and why of launching her business and share empowering tips with our women to thrive in 2025 and beyond. This isn't just a show. It's a movement. Let's celebrate women's strength, resilience, and achievements with an electrifying conversation you don't want to miss. Tune in live at 10 a.m. on Instagram at Lady D Denise Gomez, Facebook Inside the Zone, Facebook Lady D Denise Gomez, and YouTube Inside the Zone with Lady D. Let's close out Women's Month with a bang. See you there. Celebrate the heartbeat of Caribbean culture with Satideh Mawnin Runs. Join us on Saturdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube as we showcase the vibrant heritage of Jamaica and the wider Caribbean with 4 incredible women, Shern's, Max, Jacqui, and me, Lady D. From powerful stories to cultural traditions, we're bringing the flavor, rhythm, and excellence of the Caribbean straight to you. It's more than a show. It's a celebration of the roots and traditions that inspire and unite us. Subscribe to Inside the Zone with Lady D on YouTube and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn to stay connected every Saturday at 10 a.m. It's Satideh Morning Runnings. Come feel the vibes. Satideh Morning Runnings, where Caribbean heritage comes alive.
Can you feel the vibe? Give me that bass.